Hi folks, I just wanted to come on and do a video to follow on from my post this morning. The post this morning I put on was about the 4 directions and what the 4 directions, compass directions mean. So on that post I told you that north represented earth, east represents air, south represents fire, and west represents water. I'm going to continue here now by telling you what each direction is for archangels, which archangel belongs to which direction, and how to bring a circle around yourself to keep you safe, to keep you within that safe if you're going to carry out particular rituals that you feel you need that protection in. And it does you no harm to actually maybe get into the habit of doing that if you're doing particular rituals, to bring in the guardians around you in that circle, because I think it's a good thing to get. I haven't done it in a while, I must admit, but I used to quite often do circles around myself before I would start and do a healing spell for someone, or a healing ritual, or I'm just written down here, cord cutting rituals, another thing you can do within the circle. And the reason you have a circle of protection around you is to make sure that no negative energy gets into you while you're in this circle, that it's all of light, and that you're being protected as you carry out the ritual that you want to do. So I'm just going to go ahead here now first, and I'll tell you how I personally bring a circle in around myself. Now, there's various things you can use. I'm just going to use my hands today, first of all, but you can also use a wand, be it a wooden wand, be it whatever type of wand you want. It could be a crystal wand, a pointed crystal wand. You can also use an athame, which is another tool which I'll show you later, because I have one in front of me here that I got made quite a number of years ago. So you could use an athame if you wish as well. So you can use whichever you want, but you don't even have to have a tool, because you could simply, I always start in the east. Now I'm rambling a wee bit here, but I start in the east. That's my ritual and my tradition that I follow. So I would know exactly where the east, south, west, north is in whatever area I'm doing the circle and ritual in. So I would stand facing the east, and I would simply bow to the east and say, I'm inviting in Archangel Raphael to the east of my circle. Thank you for being here. Then I would also always go clockwise when you're opening the circle. So I'd go clockwise then to the south and say, I'm inviting in Archangel Michael in the south of my circle. Thank you for being here. I'll continue on round clockwise to the west, and I would bow and say, I invite in Archangel Gabriel to the west of my circle. Thank you for being here. And then I'd come up to the north and go, I invite in Archangel Uriel in the north of my circle. Thank you for being here. And then I will continue on round to the east again, so that I've completed my circle. So I have that complete circle around myself with the 4 archangels standing guard for me to keep me safe. And I've invited them in. I haven't demanded they come in. I haven't said I'm calling in. I'm inviting in, and I'm thanking them for being there. So once I have that circle drawn around myself, first of all, I would always make sure I had everything I needed with me there, so I don't have to break the circle by going out of it to get something. So always make sure you have everything you need in there with you before you put the circle around yourself. And once you do that, and you know the archangels around you, you know nothing can get in past that. There can be no negative energies getting in or anything like that, or nothing can influence what it is you're going to do except yourself. So something like I said, like a cord cutting ritual, where you want to extract yourself from a particular situation or a person who's not really good for you anymore. You can do that inside your circle. You can do a healing ritual. You can do meditation. You can do scrying, which is a form of looking into like a crystal ball, or you can use a dark mirror to see what you can see, what messages you're getting. Or you can do cards within it as well. You can do, like, say if you want to do a card reading for the world over the next 3 months, what's going to happen, for instance. And again, you could draw that circle around you. Will stop any outside influences from coming in to influence what you're picking up from the cards, so that you're getting a more accurate and reading with no outside influences of negativity coming through into you, because they can't get into the circle when you have the 4 archangels drawn around you. Now, just to say, for those who might not want to use archangels and bring the archangels in, you can also just ask for the guardians of each direction, because there are many guardians in each direction. There's animals. I can't remember all them off by hand now, but there'd be a wolf would be one direction, and so on. I must look that up actually and tell you what they are later. But you can just simply bow to the east and ask, I'm inviting in all the guardians of the watchtowers of the east. Thank you for being here. And go on round again to the south, etc. I'm inviting in the guardians of the watchtower of the south. Thank you for being here. I'm inviting in the guardians of the watchtower of the west. Thank you for being here. I'm inviting in all the guardians of the watchtower of the north. Thank you for being here. And go back round then to the east, so that you're completing your circle with them as well. So you can do any of that. Or if you particularly work maybe with different gods or goddesses from any particular tradition, they each will have their own direction that you can call them in as well. So whichever way you feel comfortable, whatever you work with, whatever energies you work with, you can draw your circle with using those and asking those energies in. Be the gods and goddesses, be the archangels, be the guardians of each direction, etc. So it's up to yourself to choose what it is who you want to work with, really. Now, another thing to say is, once you have finished your ritual, it's important to close your circle down and give thanks. So again, I would start in the east, and I would say, Archangel Raphael, thank you for being here. My ritual is finished, thank you for being here. And then I'd come round anti-clockwise to the north, and then anti-clockwise to the west, anti-clockwise to the south, and then anti-clockwise back to the east. So you've opened your circle up, and each area you've said thank you for being here, thank you for your help, and go on round, and you'll always give thanks at each area to whoever it was you had brought in to help you. So, and another way you can draw a circle is, I used to go years ago to a Tibetan nun who lived in Saintfield. And Sally Taylor, a lot of you might know Sally, I think a lot of you will. You've probably been at things that she held. And I would have gone to a lot of Sally's fire circles. And she worked differently in that, depending on the time of year, is the direction she would have started in. So for instance, if it was summer, she'd have started drawing in from the south, because the south is fire and represents summer, whereas the north represents winter, etc. And then is spring and west is autumn. So if it was winter, she'd have started in the north and welcomed in the guardians of the watchtowers of the north, and so on round like that. So she worked according to the seasons of the year, which is also a very good way to do it. Everybody has their own traditions, they have their own way of doing it. And again, but you would close your circle down afterwards in the same direction that you started. If you started in the north, you'd finish in the north when you're closing down. So I hope that those few tips I've given you there are helpful. If there's anything you want to private message me about, or questions you want to ask in the comments, because I'm sure other people in the group would be able to help you with questions as well as myself. And you could share ideas among yourselves as well, and help each other out with answers to various questions. But I hope that this has given you some useful information, okay? Now I'll do a talk another time about other things to use, such as the tools to use, because I don't want this to go on too long. Okay, so yes, I'll finish now, and I'm just looking here, it's almost 9 minutes now, so I think it's good to finish at 9. Okay, so I'm finishing now at 9 minutes, and thank you for listening.